Okay, so we're doing a follow-on to the discussion we just had about the what now?
SHSAT.
SHSAT.
Specialized High School Admissions Test.
Because that could be changing. And one of the big reasons folks want to change it is because they feel like there's not enough diversity in the specialized high schools.
Mm-hmm.
It's mainly Caucasian and Asian American kids, am I right?
Yes.
And so although Asian Americans are a minority still within the high school system, folks feel like they're overrepresented, especially relative to other minorities in the specialized high schools.
You just summed that up very well.
Brilliant. So why the disparity? What seems to be the problem with bringing in more black and brown kids?
Quickly, two things.
Two things.
The first is the lack of equal education across the city. So if you look at schools in the Bronx, where I believe in the past few years, no middle school child has achieved over a 1 or a 2 on state tests,
Wow.
which are go up to 4.
Yeah.
If you're in a middle school and you're getting basically failing or subpar grades, you're not going to achieve, you're not going to be able to accomplish things and achieve a good score on the SHSAT to gain admissions.
Right, but
And
you had
that's
said before that Asian Americans, the Asian Americans that go to the specialized high schools also represent communities of very low socioeconomic status.
Right.
So what's the difference there?
So the difference there is that for a lot of these families, they are aware of these options because of other people that they knew in this country. A lot of them are first generation. Parents have come here, knew about Stuyvesant, knew about these amazing
Before they got
schools,
here.
before they even got here, and also know the value of an education in that it will give their children an opportunity towards a better life than they have. And so there are kids testing for these preps as young as 8. You
Wow.
can go into Chinatown, you can go to into Brooklyn or Queens and find these test prep programs where kids go to Saturday school, they go to camp during the summer, and they're just prepping for that SHSAT from as early as they can, because earning a seat in one of those schools changes your educational trajectory, especially in some neighborhoods in Brooklyn and Queens that don't have good local neighborhood high schools. This is an opportunity to completely change things up.
So you're saying that, so immigrant communities come here and they know about these things, they've heard about the opportunities, that's one of the reasons they moved to the United States.
Yeah.
Folks who are born here then, are they at a disadvantage because their communities have not been talking, there's not like buzz about this?
Yes. Well, there are communities as well as the educational system.
Right.
There is a lack of...
Well, that's sort of what I meant, like you go to
Right.
school but they're
You
not
go to
talking
school,
about
right.
it.
So I just know because I work with high school families that I've heard from families who have told me that their guidance counselor said that there's no kid in their school that's smart enough to take the test, so they don't talk about it.
That's insane.
It's shocking. Or, I had a family last year where the mother said that the guidance counselor wouldn't sign them up because it has to go through a guidance department
Oh,
to
it
sign up
does?
for the test. Yes. So guidance departments are supposed to let kids know in the fall of 8th grade if they want to take the test, and then they fill out a ticket and they register for the test. Some guidance counselors don't do it.
Wow.
Some families don't know it exists. And
And then they don't know to prep.
Right, but fall of 8th grade is too late because the test is in October. You need schools to be informing children about this in 6th grade or even earlier. Let families know about this in elementary school so when they get to middle school, they can understand that middle school is middle school, but it's also the pathway to high school.
Sure.
And there are these remarkable educational opportunities out there, but kids need to be academically prepped, not just for the SHSAT. And this is a major problem that the mayor and the chancellor are completely ignoring in all of this. These are exceedingly rigorous, challenging schools. You went
Yeah.
to Bronx Science.
I did.
My kids are at Brooklyn Tech, or my daughter graduated from there. These schools are hard. If you're not prepared for that level of rigor, you're going to fail. And why would you want to send a child to a school that they're not prepared to be in? If you don't have the proper education and those building blocks from elementary through middle school, and then suddenly they throw you into Stuyvesant
Yeah.
with kids who have been working hard in these really challenging schools and doing off-site prep for years, those poor kids.
I
You're
will
setting
say
them
that the
to-
attrition rate between freshman and sophomore year at Bronx Science was pretty high. Like a lot of kids left. Like you just
Yeah.
didn't see them, the next year.
That's another secretive thing in the school system we can talk about another time, or the transfer schools. What happens when kids get to these really demanding places and for whatever reason it's not the place for them? Because you take this SHSAT, which I always thought, you're going to a demanding school, god damn it, let the admissions test be demanding. You're going there to work hard. So why would you soften the admissions test? Because you're getting to that school with the top performers from all over the city with really high expectations.
Well, so the top performers from all over the city, barring the fact that apparently one of the major things keeping minority or black and brown representation from occurring is the fact that they're not being informed properly. So top performers in those communities don't even have the opportunity to take the test.
Right. So now what the mayor and the chancellor are proposing is that they're going to take the top performers for every school in the city and automatically give them specialized seats. Now, that's a nice idea. But when you have a top performer of a school and they scored 2s on their state tests, and they're top performing in every school is very different. You take a school that's a feeder school to a specialized high school where kids are already in 9th grade math, in 8th grade, 9th grade science, doing advanced coursework, and then you take them for another school who's just academically not doing well at all, and then I'll put them in the same high school class. What's going to happen? Yes, you may be a top performer in a low performing school, and now suddenly you're in a class with a top performer from a top performing school. You're not learning at the same level. You're not prepared in the same way. And I know as a public school parent, it's the years of building on curriculum, building on preparation, building on test-taking skills. That all contributes to a successful high school experience. If you don't have those building blocks coming in, it's an opportunity for children to crash and burn.
So if you're interested in seeing more about how that plays out, Elissa mentioned earlier to me a documentary called Tested, which tracks the experience of 8 children.
8 children of all different socioeconomic backgrounds from every borough who are preparing for the SHSAT, and it's this brilliant look not into just the experience of the test, but how different communities treat the test, the importance of the test, and the high school experience and education in general. It's a great watch, especially for anybody who's interested in public education in the city, and in the timeliness of this because it's happening right now. These schools, especially the original 3, Stuyvesant, Bronx Science, and Brooklyn Tech, which have been around for decades.
So if you want to go deeper, check out that video.
Yeah.
And we'll be back later this week to comment about what happened on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a big story.
Which is the vote on whether or not to change the test.
This is something that's going to affect millions of children, so it's a very big deal.
Laters.
See ya.